News. Tonight we have some explosive stories and some crazy things to talk about. So we'll be right back right after this. Nothing in the show should be considered legal, medical, or financial advice. The views of the callers can differ considerably and do not necessarily reflect the opinions of myself, Dex, or anyone else with the show. You should always do your own research and consult with professionals. The internet is full of fake news. Please take everything with a grain of salt. All right, with that out of the way, let's talk about some crazy stuff here, including our notifications. There's been a lot of tomfoolery going on online, so I just want to make sure you know you can get notifications from us. You can actually sign up for our push notifications that go directly to your phone. You can also sign up for email alerts at marfooglenews.com. Again, we are now building a system so you can all communicate with each other, kind of like our own little Discord. So that is coming, and again, we've put a lot of work into it. Dex has put so much work into it. We will have that to tell you about soon. If you've never been here before, this is a live call-in show, so anything can happen. Of course, I can make mistakes, like rewind about 30 seconds to that intro where I forgot what I was going to say. And then, of course, you can follow along with a second device, and you can actually go over all of the articles, every single tweet, every single video. We actually give you a source for. So we don't say something without letting you have the source so you can go and check our work. If we do say something that is our opinion or something that we predict, we will make sure to clarify that. So you can just click on, you may want to be off planet for this, the big switch. When you click on it, you will see that we have backed up every single tweet, every single video, every source that we have. Not only that, down below will be the callers. By the end of the show, this is updated live. So you will actually see all of that down here. If somebody calls in with a YouTube channel, their information will be there. If somebody calls in with a document or a picture or a video, you'll be able to then access that video and then look at it for yourself. So lots to go over. Let's bring in Dex. He's my co-host and internet brother. What is going on, Dex? And how are you doing?
Hey, Adam, I'm here, and hello, Foogle fam. Doing well.
So, again, with the website, everything's going to be over here, and make sure if you check, if you see anything that you like as far as our affiliates go, if you would like to purchase any of those and help the show out, all of the links are over on the right side. NordVPN, EMP Shield, which we highly recommend, as we do not know that will be something that is definitely on the docket for the White House, so we should be prepared as well. That is all over on the right. You can follow along. We're going to get right into the news here. We've got 5 American troops killed in military helicopter crash off of Egypt's Sinai Peninsula. It says that 5 American soldiers there were killed aboard a U.S. Army Black Hawk helicopter that crashed off on a Taurid island off the southern coast of Egypt's Sinai Peninsula earlier Thursday. Fox News has confirmed. It says a mechanical failure is suspected to be the cause of the crash. So lots of weird things with helicopters going on. Of course, we had the helicopter just a few days ago crash with a donor heart inside. All 3 people inside that helicopter actually survived, and then even that donor heart survived, only to be handed from firemen to the doctor, where he then dropped the heart as well. And even after that, he got that heart to the donee, or the recipient, and it actually went well. So lots of crazy stuff. It doesn't sound like this has gone as well. It says there are between 30 and 400 American troops based in the Sinai as part of the UN peacekeeping mission that dates back to the signing of the peace treaty between Israel and Egypt in 1979. It says the island where the crash occurred is located in the Straits of Taurid, which connects to the Red Sea and the Gulf of Aqaba. So lots of chatter on this on kind of the message boards, though. Some people said that there was somebody special on this helicopter. We have not gotten information about who that would be or if it's even true. So I'm definitely going to be looking at this story, and I will fill you guys in if we find anything weird. After the first article here, I just want to say hi to everybody in the chat. Of course, we've got lots of really great people here. By the way, you guys are awesome. I thank everybody for coming. It looks like there's already a few thousand. Also, Dex, We were going to have a special call, but we're probably going to move that forward. Again, there is some cool stuff there as well. I've been talking to lots of creators offline as well. A lot of stress on everybody right now. Thank you, Shutterbug, Kate, Terabile. We've got Audrey's Visual Arts. Thank you, PMC 2020. Gone Girl 77, Serenity PA, Gem. Looks like Little Rig Trucker. What's going on? Johnny Doom, Chronoholic, Lady Mel, and Bear Inc. Thank you. And then Sean Clyde, thank you. I don't even know how you found it, but you ended up going over to OBS and making a donation. So thank you so much for that. It says, love everything you're doing. I love make beats and music. Would love to hear an intro of you doing something to my music. Be blessed and be safe. Sean Clyde, if you want to send your music in, I would be happy to play it. Again, we want to support all kinds of artists here, including painting, graphic design, whatever you have. Let us know about it. You can DM me on Marfoogle, at Marfoogle on Twitter. Mom of Six, hey, how are you doing? And then we have End Times in the house. Awesome guy. Him and Cha Money and the whole crew over there. Thank you guys for being here. Okay, so we have some other things here. The view through the Army's new night vision goggles looks straight out of a video game. So we've talked about night vision before on the show as far as the government using eminent domain to actually snatch night vision tubes from the commercial aspect of it. Even higher up commercial aspects had their night vision tubes taken by eminent domain. So basically, if the government needs something, they can claim eminent domain and they can actually take that from the middleman instead of going to the commercial buyers and then being put into, say, civilian night vision goggles. It will be then taken to use for other things. It looks like now we have all these night vision goggles and then these new ones. We got a new model last year and then now this year, and then this was going to be one of the standards. One thing that I have to say about this is that as far as a blackout situation is concerned, we've seen other countries like Venezuela actually go completely dark. It was a nationwide blackout. And of course, if you followed that situation, a lot of folks even thought that our government might have been involved, or at least that's what they claimed. They claimed that they caught at least 2 men, and I want to say it was 4, that supposedly sabotaged their grid. But one thing to think about that is that we have been talking about it for over 5 years hardcore, and even longer than that, really. But the experts say that the U.S. is under a threat of this. So are they beefing up on night vision goggles and night vision technology because they'll need it? Or are they beefing up on it for preparedness? Are they beefing up on it for, say, invading somewhere else or going in a conflict somewhere where there's not a lot of light? It says the U.S. Army is in the process of fielding a new advanced set of night vision goggles that features impressive additional sensor fusion and other capabilities that look straight out of a first-person shooter video game. It says the service recently released a video showing soldiers training with the goggles that offers a very good look at how they not only improve an individual's ability to see at night, but also gives them valuable additional information about what's going on around them on the battlefield. It says that the footage comes from a weapons qualification event that members of the Army's 3rd Infantry Brigade combat team, 25th Infantry Division, took part in earlier in the month. It says that the brigade is based at Schofield Barracks on the island of Oahu in Hawaii, which there is some significance there. At least that's what Twitter was saying, that there's been some weird trickery going on over there with helicopters and Blackhawks. But again, I don't know all the information on that, so we'll probably talk about that tomorrow. It says the brigade based at Schofield Barracks, it says, is known, they have these new goggles known as the Enhanced Night Vision Goggle Binocular. It says to engage targets on a training range using M4 carbines, also equipped with the Family of Weapon Sights Individual, or FWSI. It says a new compact thermal optic. So this is actually supposedly a thermal optic? That's insane. It says you can watch the entire video over here. We're actually going to link this, and actually we can probably try to watch part of this. Here, one sec.
Center button. You have
Settings, go to settings. Wireless enabled. Go back into settings.
You can hear it clicking.
Gonna have good polarity up there. Elliot.
Okay, one thing that I have to say already is it sounds like almost autofocusing on a camera, but way, way louder. Is that the sound of them? And would you use these if you were trying to sneak up on somebody? I mean, listen to that. Just a thought.
Down. And then, obviously, right 28, because you have no...
I don't know what that sound is. I don't know if that was them filming and there was something else going on. But again, these are the new night vision goggles. One thing that I think about with this and every piece of night vision gear that they've talked about over the last couple of years is the order by DHS, where they ordered 1.4 billion bullets, enough bullets to actually last in a 20-year conflict. In fact, it was as many bullets as they used in the Middle East for 20 years of conflict. Why would the Department of Homeland Security need that? Of course, we probably will never know. And that was right around the same time where they announced the DHS EMP resilience report, where they said every American needs 6 months to a year of food and water due to the threat of a blackout. So it says what you see in the first footage is when it comes to the pictures of ENVG-B presents to the user is a very good overview of the kind of new capabilities the goggles offer. What immediately notable is that the view has something of a reddish tint in certain areas rather than the green or gray coloration commonly associated with night vision goggles. So this is like straight out of Call of Duty. So you would be able to pick out the humans compared to some things, or at least it looks like it's almost like heat vision mixed with night vision. It says this is because the ENVG fuses together the view from an image intensifier, just like you would get with an older night vision optics, and one from a thermal sensor. It says this combination offers greater overall fidelity compared to the older goggles, which also provides a meaning of spotting targets through visual obscurance, such as dust and smoke. So say they drop something, or say they even throw a smoke bomb, they could even still see the target around that. So what I see is them probably using this in Coruscant with dropping things like that, or using drones to drop dust, so visibility is next to nil, and then they will be able to still get their targets. This is some pretty advanced, crazy stuff. What do you guys think about this as far as, do you think that there's any connections with any of the other stuff we've talked about? I already know that they are putting everything they have into this whole night vision, and as far as almost every soldier is going to get at least some version of it. Why are they doing that? Why are they in such a hurry? Why did they use eminent domain last year? Why did they snatch all of those? Is it because they need it very quickly? That's what I would like to ask you guys. What do you guys think about that? And then...
You know what's missing from there? And the first thing I thought of when I saw that image, I thought there was a connection between the scope on the weapon and the night vision. But if they can actually start to combine those two together, imagine being able to use your weapon and be able to see a dot on the screen that shows you where you're aiming, so that you don't have to actually look down the scope. They can just put a CCD in the back of the scope and then wirelessly put that and imprint it on the screen, right?
Wow, that would be
crazy. I bet they have that. We just haven't seen it yet.
Well, and the technology that is happening right now with everything is just absolutely going crazy. Think about the stuff that civilians get, then think about what military is getting. We have a large group, and even we had in our Discord over 500 active and retired military folks, and they agree. The technology that they're using right now on the field, the new stuff that's coming out, we won't even know about for another year or two. And as far as, some of the more advanced stuff that certain departments use, that stuff is just absolutely insane. We're talking about these drone swarms the UN is talking about, because China has them now. Russia is developing these advanced drone systems. So you'll see, just like out of, I think it was Angel Has Fallen, that movie I talked about, as far as... in the movie, they show this truck pulling up, and it looks like multiple missile launchers, almost like one of those fireworks with 16 barrels, this thing at the back of it, and it shoots out these drones, and then each drone has AI and facial recognition, and it actually recognizes every part of their team. So the Secret Service in the movie, it recognizes all the faces, it pulls up their names, and you would think that would be fiction, but that's not. That's real life right now. And now they're putting the most powerful computers in the tiniest objects. So if you want to say, like, these explosive drones, they're going to have the power of a desktop computer. I mean, just look at the Quest 2 VR system. Just a few years ago, that kind of technology wasn't possible without cords and hooked up to a huge computer. And what I'm talking about is the newest VR system is completely wireless because it's all in the headset. And what it is that the size of a cell phone can actually be just as powerful as a desktop computer, or almost there, at least for civilians. If you're talking about for military purposes, those guys have a lot more that they're working with. So we're going to see some crazy stuff in the next couple of years. What I would say, and this is my personal opinion, people need to prepare for our lights and everything to go out, when everything goes out. Just yesterday, at the very end of our YouTube show, all of YouTube went down globally. But not only that, we had global outages of all kinds. And oddly enough, there was a couple of videos out, and I put that on my Twitter, what video came out right as it started, almost like, and then oddly enough, that video did not do as well as all of the other videos on that person's channel. It starts with a Rudy and ends with a Ani. That video actually did not do well, and it seems like it just kind of stopped where it was at. So that happened, but I just wonder why those things happen. Was that a hack, or was that some greater failure of infrastructure? Why did the entire internet go down? Why did cell phones go down at the same time? Is this a practice run? One thing that people talk about is the hypothetical situation of everything going dark. Everything going dark as far as media blackout, everything blackout. And that could happen if the wrong thing happens. And this is something that experts have talked about for years, and it never really had the right kind of things come together. But just today, there is new news that brings a lot of uncertainty to everything that we know right now, as far as the entire internet is on fire right now. So we'll talk about that on the other part of the show. So make sure to get in there. Thank you, Billy P, Audrey's Visual Arts, and then Project Exodus. Thank you so much. It looks like you couldn't stay, but dropped a couple Ninja Guineas and said that you'll watch the replay. So thank you so much. I appreciate that, Project Exodus. All right, so let's get back into the news. Again, lots of craziness here. As far as the laser system protecting the Capitol against aerial intruders is getting an upgrade. It says it is a fairly obscure but critical component of the integrated air defense system that guards Washington, D.C. against aerial threats. This is the new system, and by the way, I did post on Twitter, I might pull that up, is over D.C., supposedly, they have been running all sorts of crazy Air Force One helicopter drills. And they're not calling it a drill. They're not saying anything about it. But people are posting, and locals actually posted that it's true, that they were going way, way low. One person said that they've lived there for 50 years. They've never seen the events that they've seen in the last couple days, as far as these helicopters doing these low maneuvers, doing all sorts of stuff. We know last year, or I think it was last year, it might have been at the beginning of this year, the Congress accidentally let slip something through the money trail. There was a big chunk of money out on the table for D.C. for a drill, and they were like, well, if we're going to give you all this money, you need to tell us what it is. And they ended up finding out that there was these helicopter drills going on in Washington, D.C., and it ended up going out to the public. It wasn't supposed to, but it had to, because they needed all this money for helicopter fuel. They said, what are you using all this helicopter fuel for? And then it ended up coming out that it was for a drill over Washington, D.C. What do you guys think is going on here? As far as some other things that have happened, lots of changes to the whole system. As far as protecting the president, lots of threats, I'm assuming, from this current climate that we are in. It says the Air Force Life Cycle Management Center's Battles Management Directorate at Hanscom Air Force Base in Massachusetts issued a request for information regarding a refresh of a laser projector component for the Enhanced Regional Situation Awareness, or ERSA system, on November 9th, 2020. This system provides the National Capital Region Integrated Air Defense System, or NCR IADS. It says, with eyes on video of aircraft in the NCR through a network of visual and infrared cameras, according to the contracting notice. It says the far less talked about The far less talked about laser components work to grab the attention of wayward aviators and warn them about a highly sensitive area. So it basically sends this laser to the pilot, and it does what we're not supposed to do and probably flashes him and says, hey, you are getting close, and don't come close. It says the Air Force states that the current URSA system was introduced in 2004 and underwent a partial technical refresh in 2012, although the original lasers have remained in use since the beginning. The contracting document provides a general description of how component URSA works. It says, quote, the URSA system is a collective suite of lasers, electro-optical, and infrared sensors connecting networks, data correlation, applications, decision support tools, and operator displays. The specific mission of the lasers is to generate a visual warning signal visible to the aircrew of the aircraft that may have entered into control airspace or air. Dex, what do you think about this? One thing that I think about is, what if this just had an error or something, or it had a malfunction and happened to not warn somebody? So say they call something an accident because the laser system was offline for a day or something.
Right. That's an interesting thought. I was thinking from an upgrade perspective, maybe the next one will actually have lasers that don't just flash your eyes, but can actually,
shoot them down.
Take something down, right?
That's a good point, too. As far as now we have lasers that do that. Even Russia's talking about putting one on the moon that can possibly destroy small objects. China has a laser that they're going to try to use to hit down space trash. So I wouldn't put it past them to do anything. They, of course, actually have physical weapons at the White House. As far as they even have flamethrowers in the grass in certain parts. The White House lawn is an incredibly high-tech thing in itself. Which was weird. A couple years ago, we covered that they had a sinkhole there, and that made everybody wonder because, first of all, the entire grass area has sensors on it. So if you step on the grass in the White House, they know where you're stepping. They know what section you're in. They have actual sensors underneath the lawn. So pretty weird stuff there that they had the sinkhole there, which it's like, what were they doing underneath? Of course, we know they have shelter and kind of a situation room down there, but what else was going on? So pretty crazy. This is the map, the kind of tightly controlled and well-defended airspace around Washington, D.C. So it actually goes out really, really far. So what do you guys think about that? Again, do you think that they're putting a physical laser there that can knock things down? Do you think they have good reason to do so? I don't know. And if you guys do not want to take a risk with an EMP, I would highly recommend getting an EMP Shield. If you guys have not checked these out before, almost half of the Foogle fam most likely have these. Again, it is an electromagnetic pulse shield. It actually protects against all three phases, an E1, E2, and E3 phase of an EMP, so you're blocked against all of it. It grounds the signal before it fries your device. So if a hypothetical EMP does happen, whatever you have this hooked up to within a certain distance will be okay. You can actually hook it up to your vehicle, your generator, your home, your solar system. A lot of people don't think about that. They say, well, I've got a generator and a solar system, so it doesn't matter. If both of those are fried, what are you going to do then? And then again, motorcycle, if you have multiple motorcycles you plan to use if traffic is gridlocked when an SHTF situation happens, or even on your boat. So all of these have a solution for them at marfooglenews.com/EMP. Again, these are the same guys that have been contracted by DHS, DOD, and now they are officially on the DEMSO team helping protect the Texas grid. If I was you, I would not wait on something like this, especially with what is going on right now, especially with the potential flip. But it is entirely up to you. If you do not want to support us, again, this will actually get you a discount if you go through us, but you can get a discount from a different creator. If you find one, go through them, go through the site without us. Just make sure to get one, because I believe this will save lives if this ever happens. All right.
Adam, I just heard from Andrew. He said that they did a big sale for yesterday for Veterans Day, but he decided to extend it through the rest of the week and double it in the sense that you can use both our code and his discount for Veterans Day. So you get to double up right now.
I didn't even think about that. Of course, they're doing.
They always do that for the Foogle fam. So all the more reason to go use our code.
Okay, so now you'll have the Veterans Day sale and double it up on our normal sale, which is our normal discount for Foogle fam. They have actually made Christmas videos just for our Foogle fam. These guys are really awesome. They started out in a smaller building. Now they've upgraded now with their government contracts. We started with them before some of the major ones. Again, we didn't know if they were going to continue selling these to the regular people because they got all of these government contracts, but they reassured the owner wants every single American to have one of these. If you live out of the country, I would highly recommend checking these out. No matter where you are that is watching this on YouTube or DLive, most likely is in a place that is a risk. Solar flares, though, too. That's the thing. This doesn't just protect against EMP. All right. So Trump signs an executive order banning investment in Chinese companies linked to the military. Pretty big deal here. So I was just talking about this with Dex earlier. There was a big set of events, and I almost want to do a timeline on all of the things that happen, starting with Huawei or however you want to say that, the phone maker. That phone maker was coming out with some of the most advanced phones out. In fact, if most of you guys know about iPhone 11 or Samsung Note 10 or Note 20 or Ultra, all of these phones. But we were at just a point in about a year and a half ago where these like P30s and all of these Huawei phones were coming out, and they were directly competing with U.S. phones for $200, $300, $400 less. And some of them even had more advanced features. You're talking about a 108 megapixel camera and all this crazy stuff on it. They had the processing chip above and beyond what the nicest flagship phone had. So who cares mostly about that? But the thing is they were one of the biggest markets. They are the biggest Chinese market as far as the phones. They had the U.S. They were actually possibly going to surpass iPhone and Samsung. That's where they were headed. T-Man said, well, we don't want this country basically coming in and taking all of the sales from all of these other companies. On top of that, with everything that was going on, they banned Huawei. And what that did is it completely screwed China in a way too, because it's all connected all the way up to the top of China. They first said, you can't sell here, you can't do this. They ended up cutting all the ties. They cut the Wi-Fi services. They even cut ties with the processing chip company that makes their processors, which is in Taiwan. That's a Taiwanese company. Hence, why it seems to me like there's a correlation, a direct correlation, and I bet, Dex, if you can correct me if I'm wrong, but Taiwan making the chips and us saying basically we can't use this, that cost them billions and billions and billions of dollars directly to the Chinese economy. And Taiwan could not even provide their chips, so they couldn't even continue to do their high-end phones for the rest of the world because Taiwan was going along with our order to ban and stop all of it. Which, as you guys know, now Taiwan and them are neck and neck, and they're basically stepping on each other's toes. China is basically hinting that they're going to invade Taiwan. I mean, they're not hinting. They've got the Taiwanese capital, a replica of it, and they're drilling to take it over. It's a big deal. I mean, like this whole thing. And I think a lot of it goes back to this. This is all connected. We've been disconnecting. I wonder what will happen when the next person in charge takes over. As far as they already say that person will reverse a lot of the orders. Are they going to reverse and then let China back in on a lot of this stuff? A lot of people think that will be the case. It says President T-Man on Thursday signed an executive order paving the way for the U.S. to blacklist Chinese companies that the administration alleges are connected to Beijing's military. The order is expected to go into effect January 11th, ahead of the start of the new presidential administration, in which Joe Biden is the projected U.S. president. It says a series of high-profile Chinese companies are named in the order, including Huawei, which I just talked about, a technology company that the team in White House has sought to block sales from U.S. businesses to over national security concerns. It says the Department of Defense over the summer released a list of a dozen or so Chinese companies it identified as having connections to the Chinese military, including telecommunications firms, aviation, aerospace, shipping, and construction companies, to name a few. Now, U.S. citizens are blocked from owning or trading securities linked to these companies. So again, it's not even that you couldn't, that they cut the sales off from like AT&T and Verizon from selling the phone. You are not even supposed to go and buy it on eBay and own that device. Like, this is craziness. This is saying you can't even go to China and own things from these companies. It says the president said he signed the executive. Oh, by the way, what they did when they cut ties to that, they said no U.S. company could work with that company. So what happened is that cell phone company that provided phones for the rest of the world, China was selling them to all different countries, not just U.S. U.S. was their largest market. They cut off the ability for them to have Facebook, Google, Gmail, all of that on their phones. Imagine a smartphone without all of the main staples. That's what they basically screwed their biggest company. That's a big deal. I mean, they were pissed. It says those companies, through remaining ostensibly private and civilian, directly support the PRC's military, intelligence, and security apparatuses and aid in their development of modernization. So like I said, this was a huge deal. They basically cut their legs off.
Yeah, the other part here, Adam, is the mention about blocking trading of securities and owning them. Excuse me. That's specifically going with Wall Street, right? In other words, all of these companies were trading on Wall Street, and we have the most liquidity, we have the most money, we have the biggest trading environment, right? So by taking that away, they can no longer trade here. They have to go somewhere else. They're going to have to literally go probably to Hong Kong or somewhere to trade, which is not bad, but it's nowhere near like trading in the New York Stock Exchange or the NASDAQ or whatever. So that's a big hit to those companies from a financial perspective, especially their stock prices.
It sounds like we're trying to keep them down. Like I've kind of kept on saying right now too. Not only, I mean, they've spied on us, they've stolen our technology. Questionably, they stopped, using DJI for military purposes because they believed that they were spying through their technology. You had to use their proprietary programs and their apps to get that video feed to your device. So in the middle, they could just take that feed. So if military are using their drones, they could drone something that's top secret, and it would go right back to the Chinese government. So there was a lot of things like this that were happening. They even said TikTok. I mean, TikTok, all of these different companies, they said that they want to get rid of. India actually banned TikTok and banned a lot of this kind of stuff. Other countries are not doing the same stuff as well. So this is something to watch. If we cut their legs off financially, this is going to be, these are fighting words. So what do you think will happen? I'll go over to the chat and check in on you. I appreciate all of you guys being here. Let's see here. It's going to open up. Let's see here. And then Dex, if you could, can you read this next article? Meet George Jetson. Orlando unveils plans for first flying car hub. And you were...
Hey, I'm here. Let me get it. Yep. So meet George Jetson. So we just talked about the first drone, I guess, taxi, right? Or they were testing, I think it was overseas in Asia. Now they're unveiling plans for the first flying car hub here in America. So the site selected for transportation hub is in Lake Nona, a 17 square mile planned community within the city limits that is next to Orlando International Airport. It'll require approval from the Federal Aviation Administration. The aircrafts themselves will also fall under the agency's oversight. The FAA is the regulatory authority over all flight activities in the United States, including urban air mobility aircraft, the FAA said in a statement Wednesday night. The agency is in the preliminary stages of working with these applicants and will continue to engage with them as they work to meet certification standards. Jim Gray, a city council commissioner whose district includes the site of the planned hub, said on Monday that the tax incentives were justified and the project would create about 140 jobs that paid about $65,000 a year on average. But so what they're basically saying is the first flying car hub is going to actually be in Orlando. And so they're taking, obviously there's tax incentives to do this, there's job incentives to do this, and we're going to start to see, we talked about this in the other, in last night's show, we talked about these air taxis. And as we, I guess sort of go towards the way of the Jetsons and we all start to have flying cars. So it's got to start somewhere. And apparently it's starting here in Orlando, Florida.
So, and we just talked about this over the last couple of days. This is going to take over your skies, and it's going to be really crazy to see. But again, I don't even think we'll make it to half of this. I think something big is coming. Now, most people agree with me that we feel like something huge is coming. And when I say you might want to be off planet for this, one, we have some huge seismic events that could happen. Experts are saying that the planet is doing all sorts of weird things. They, of course, are talking about a eventual pole shift, and they have no idea when it will happen. But also, on top of all of this, they are preparing for something that is space-related. They, of course, started Space Force. They say, they're doing all these tests with asteroids and meteors. And when I talk to just somebody, one of my friends or somebody else, it's really hard to even bring it up because people are like, what are you talking about? I think that they know a whole lot more than we do. They track NEOs, all of this. People on a general level do not think about this kind of stuff. It's in human nature for us to just kind of put those things, I guess, uncommon things in the back of our head. We don't want to think about it actually happening. But right now, there's a lot of proof to say that something is happening. As far as if it's man-made and it's just to take out a bunch of people or it's population control or something, I don't know. Susie Q says, the world is going wacky. Yeah, no, I agree. By the way, thank you, Doc Bill. Don't forget its uncle was one of the agents that raided Tesla's apartment where all the files went missing. Oh, T-Man's uncle. Yeah, there's all sorts of stuff about T-Man's family, the original T-Man. I think that's where the sentence came from, too. Lindy Kaz says, did you see Naughty Beaver's video said what we did to China? May want to watch that video. Lindy, I will check it out. I'm glad he's back and making videos. Will he ban his China bank account? Well, Marfool's Gold, just like any other country, that we have problems with. There's other countries, not us, but that have problems with Sweden. Sweden is, I believe, neutral, I want to say Sweden is neutral. But then again, they have companies that are privately owned. It's just like saying, I guess that's like saying, because it's a Chinese company, to not do it because of their race, right? I don't know. I don't think that would be a good point because not all Chinese companies are owned by China. There are a few that are worldwide that are based out of, say, Hong Kong. But I don't know. I don't know about what he has. I'm sure he has got some secret stuff. I'm sure all the elites do. If you're over $1 billionaire, I'm sure you guys have Switzerland accounts. You have Swiss accounts. You have all sorts of things that are all crazy. By the way, when I... on Twitter and stuff like that, when I'm supporting the legitimacy of everything that's going on right now, I'm not supporting one party or another more. I'm just saying, basically, we need to have it be fair. So, again, I believe that there's pretty much all of them are evil in a way. I'm sorry, but they're all connected to banks. They're all connected to all sorts of stuff. But who is there a good guy and a bad guy? Is there, is God involved in any of this? I personally think so. B Lady Apiary says, your chat folks have these items. Where are you getting your information? At Marfoogle TV. Your chat folks. I don't know what that means. I will have to look back at that. Constant Hacks says, Shell Hawk. Let's see, Kaz Payton. I avoid anything with the word smart attached. Yeah, no, I don't blame you on that one. Smart toasters now, smart refrigerators, smart washers, smart everything. And they're all going to be connected through the Internet of Things, which I absolutely hate. Snafu, what's going on? Carrie Hutchison, Truthflix is here. Nice channel there. Brian Rosenberg, there will be a gnashing of teeth and groaning, those who accept salvation through the blood and the Lamb of God. That was Kaz. And then, let's see here. Wendy Sagamung, Chump, he says. And then it says, Stuart and Lisa Martin, do you want to support the country openly, looking for conflict with us and over half the world? You guys have a lot of conversations going here. Let's see here. Flying cars the USA can't even count. It's right. That's funny. What's happening, everyone? Greetings from Denver. What is going on, Shane Reed? Nice to see you here. Backass Words Weird World says, seek out all and hold fast to that which is true. We've got lots of folks in here. Donna Honey, lots of new names. Lewis Price, Hopkinson, Old School, Cold Check, the Hippie Cat, the trumpet sounds heard around the world, cloaked huge spacecraft. I'm open to any theory and every theory. I think that's awesome. We've got J-Stone, we've got Bones, we've got Trinity Red Pill or Blue Pill in the house. I don't see CJ Blaze, but I know she's been busy. So let's see here. Wide Awake and Angry. Trinity, what is going on? Truth Boom, Brian Davis. We've got Doc Bill, Peepo 3. And looks like Ronin returns. What is going on, guys? All right, let's get over to this. We're having by the way, we're having technical difficulties behind the scenes here. So I thank you guys for being patient. Fireball-fueled northern Taurid meteor shower spices up the sky. How to watch. It says that one of the most explosive meteor showers of the years is just past its peak, but is still very active, which is good news if you're into seeing fire in the sky. The southern Taurid and northern Taurid showers are active now and tend to produce a lot of sizzle. Yeah, some Snoop Dogg shizzle in the form of fireballs that light up the sky. The southern Taurid branch has already peaked but can continue to contribute to the overall fireball count. The northern Taurid's likely to hit a maximum activity Wednesday night but remain active until early December, according to the American Meteor Society. It just seems like there's literally every day now there is a new meteor shower. I guess we didn't track them like we do now, and now it's publicly, popular, so they cover it a lot more. It just seems to me like there's just a huge uptick in meteors. And then, of course, when they say there's a meteor shower, it's not strange if something comes into the atmosphere. The Taurids are produced when Earth drifts through a cloud of debris left by Comet 2P Encke. Around this time of each year, small chunks of dust might be seen burning up in our upper atmosphere as shooting stars, where larger bits of space rocks can produce a more dramatic fireball. The Taurids aren't as well known as other meteor showers like the Perseids or even the Leonids, which are also active in November. They don't produce as many meteors per hour as those more famous showers, but the Taurids are well known for generally adding healthy doses of fireballs to the night sky in late October and early November. So put this out, and then if anything comes in, they can say, oh, it's Taurids. So I've never heard of Taurids before. I've heard of Leonid, I've heard of these other ones, but now they cover all of them. Again, if something comes into our atmosphere from Space Force, they can say, oh, it's just Taurids. That's my opinion anyways. Jared Guerrera, thank you so much. And then all of you guys over there, I know that there was several of you. Youper Viking, ever notice that the smarter the technology gets, the dumber that most people become? I think that's actually a really great statement. That's almost worth being calligraphied on a rock. Stone Master Kevin missed the show yesterday, but I did watch. Well, thank you, and thank you for all the people that end up watching the replay. Taryn White says, what's with this Lek? Shh. On. Young Pharaoh. I can't see the rest of that. Why? That's so funny. Young Pharaoh, YouTube. Awesome. Thank you, Taryn White, and it's nice to see you here tonight. Seriously, I'll go check out your channel. Sir Budrick, UK's Joris Bonson, I like how you said that, asked Gil Bates to plan V rollout. Again, how are they going to force people to do this? I don't understand it. Diehard Prepper, get prepared. Marfdex, love your show. It's a staple in our home. I hope the fam is prepared. Changes to our site. Godspeed to all. I will check that out, Diehard Prepper. And then Ross A., you will not want to be here in 2021. Earth changes coming and more. See, they put a deadline of 2024 on a ton of stuff. And internally, they have put a deadline of 2024. And it's crazy that this is this event that is going on, the November 3rd event that is still going on. I think that it is one of the most important times in our history ever. And I think something is going on behind the scenes that they know about. And obviously there is so much money, so much evil at play here that it's not even funny. No matter which side, like there is something way, way bigger at stake. And I think everybody's going to see that, and it won't matter that we said it or anybody else said it or some of my friends on other YouTube channels said it. It won't matter, because by the time it happens, we won't have YouTube. We won't have the internet to say, called this. It's going to hit us on the side of the head. That's what I think. So hopefully everybody is prepared. Hopefully everybody keeps preparing.
You don't need the government to mandate those V's. There's another way of doing it that I think they're going to do, which is going to be through the big banks.
Are you talking about pay people?
No, I'm talking about just thinking about like just how insurance works in the banking environment. Like if all of a sudden banks won't insure companies that don't employ people that don't have the V, then every company is going to say they have to have it. It doesn't matter. The government doesn't have to mandate that. If the company wants to be in business, they're going to do it financially, right? Well, that's what'll happen. That's the type of thing that big finance can.
Well, same with the mandate
happen. Yeah, it'll feel like a mandate. It'll come out like a mandate, but it won't be necessarily the government doing it.
Well, they said if you don't do the mandate that's coming, or Utah for a perfect example. If you as a business does not do the mandate, so if you serve a single person without a covering, then you will be fined, and then beyond that you can still serve jail time. So that's how they do it. They do it from the top down and from the bottom up in some cases where they're doing that. Utah's is, I mean, just look at that, and that is a right-leaning state, as Brian said. Watch that video that I shared over on Twitter. I think it was 2 days ago of High Impact. Incredible video, and common sense goes over what the hell is going on there, and it's as simple as that. It's an edict. I think that's what he pulled out. One thing about Brian is he has the world's most amazing vocabulary. He pulls out the craziest words I've never heard of. But edict is like something that I think it's basically something that goes directly against the Constitution. I think that's what it means from the context he used it, but man, incredibly smart guy. If you guys haven't checked them out, go do so.
Official order of proclamation issued by a person of authority.
Thank you. So he was saying it was not that. It's an official order, bam, boom. It's a command. Again, there's lots of commands coming, and I hope that everybody is ready for a whole different world. Now, by the way, if you guys want to protect yourself online, I think that is more important than ever right now to possibly even put yourself out to get information, including news. What you can do is this is what I'm suggesting to some of the folks that are in support of some of these people that are on the main stage, that all the media back. I suggest you get a VPN. It doesn't have to be Nord. I highly recommend getting this one because it's one of the biggest in the world. 2, it is one of the highest rated, and 3, it's a trusted one. So again, it's something that you can get. But even if you don't get this one, get a different VPN. Put yourself outside the country, and then look up news. Do not use the Big Daddy search engine. Use one of the other ones. Use DuckDuckGo. Look at the media that's coming out of Sweden. Look at the media that's coming out of some of these other countries. They are being filtered out through our system. It's scary. So again, if you want a whole new world online, put yourself somewhere else with your virtual private network. If you guys want to help us, though, you can get this and a huge savings of almost 70% on a 3-year plan. It comes out to, pennies per dollar on this. marfooglenews.com/VPN. But either way, even if you have a regular other VPN, put yourself somewhere else and then look at the news that is coming out that we just happen to not cover here. It's incredible. New device puts music in your head. No headphones required. Just super insane here. All right, so let's see here. And another mistake here. Let's see. This happened before. Let's see here. Of course. All right, well, I just had another thing break on me, and it is a live show. Imagine a world where you move around in your own personal sound bubble. You listen to your favorite tunes, play loud computer games, watch a movie, and get navigation directions in your car, all without disturbing those around you. It says that's the possibility presented by sound beaming, a new futuristic audio technology from Noveto Systems, an Israeli company. On Friday said that it will debut a desktop device that beams sound directly to a listener without the need for headphones. Sound crazy, right? It says the company provided the Associated Press with an exclusive demo of the desktop prototype of its Sound Beamer 1.0 before its launch Friday. It says the listening sensation is straight out of a sci-fi movie. The 3D sound is so close it feels like it's inside your ears, while also in front, above, and behind them. Noveto experts say that the device will have plenty of practical uses, from allowing office workers to listen to music or conference calls without interrupting colleagues, to letting someone play a game, movie, or music without disturbing their significant others. It says the lack of headphones means it's possible to hear other sounds in the room clearly. So you'll be able to hear everything normal, but the sound is going to be beamed inside your head. Sounds creepy to me, but it says the technology uses a 3D sensing module that locates and tracks your ear position, sending audio via an ultrasonic wave to create sound pockets by the user's ears. Sound can be heard in a stereo or a spatial 3D mode that creates a 360-degree sound around the listener. It says the demo includes nature video clips of swans on a bee, bees buzzing, and a babbling brook where a listener feels completely transported into the scene. It says, but even CEO Christoph Ramstein finds it hard to put the concept into words. It says the brain doesn't understand what it doesn't know, he said. Now, most people just say, wow, I really don't believe it, she said. You don't believe it because it sounds like a speaker, but no one else can hear it. It's supporting you, and you're like in the middle of everything. So what do you think about this, Dex? This sounds like something people have said as a rumor for a long time. The voice of God type of thing. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? I'll go over to the chat for that.
This is, this technology sounds really crazy. I mean, in one hand, it sounds really, useful, but then the way this works is also really kind of scary, because I mean, imagine what else you could do with it.
Well, and again, this is like, people have said, there's been whole towns that have said that they hear voices and things like this, and that's the only reason why mainstream news covered it. It's because everybody says they hear it, but nobody else hears it. What if this is something that's already been happening? What if this is something that has talked to people and made them crazy think about if this is coming out to the public now. Think about DARPA having this 10 years ago.
Well, I think about the first thing that comes to my mind when I think about that is somebody who doesn't have sight, right? How much they rely on sound and how you could manipulate their entire world and environment remotely, and then turn around and take away sight from others. In other words, in a dark situation or a lights out scenario, what could then happen with sound? You could you could be thinking or hearing all sorts of crazy things that you can't see.
Yeah, no, I think this is something that's scary as hell, and this is the future. And think about this: if this catches on and everybody is doing it, so then everybody is using this technology. Think about how if this was accepted, and instead of earphones don't exist anymore, we never put anything in our ears. Everything is beamed and track our ears. Even store displays, as you walk by a store, it will track your ears with a special camera. And then it will beam sound into your head. Think about what they could do with this. Think about the bad stuff that they could do with this. Or think about if they put an ultrasonic signal in there that we didn't know about, or subliminal messaging, or something like that. I mean, that sounds a little paranoid, but I mean, it is 2020. Anything is possible at this point. I'm sorry, I don't like this at all, and I think that if this does catch on and they say it is as good as they say it is, that's scary. That's like super scary. But what do you guys think? Do you think that this is okay? It says, keep it real, everybody. Let's see here. Kyler Sober says another lawsuit for Utah. Yeah. Edict says Muskogee to Fofalope. Thank you. Again, I'm not a vocabulary expert like Brian. Razar, I dropped my pocket. Well, I'm not picking it up. Amen, GG. Awesome. Lisa Renee. Aspen English. Oh, wow. Aspen English says the LDS population will not stand for this any longer in Utah. The church services have been cut and were closed. This will not last in Utah. I don't understand how you can go to the grocery store and not church. That's one thing I never understood. I mean, you can separate pews. That's, especially some of the giant churches. You could at least fit 1,000 people in a 10,000 person church. That I've never understood that. Captain Thrash, we have no rulers in the U.S. Let's see here. William Robbins says, LOL, there are tons of businesses not requiring coverings where I live in central Utah. And maybe that's why they made it the mandate, right? I don't know if you saw your governor's kind of TV announcement, but it was pretty creepy. Casey Walden, I am. Rip Curl, I do not comply. Sassy, oi. Melasser Vandervolt, why is the elect building teams, etc.? Well, that's normal. So they're going to build their teams and get set up just like T-Man did 2 months before he started. He picked out his justices. He picked out all of his stuff. But what's even crazier is T-Man and the White House basically said, continue with our plans, and told all the agencies that. Meanwhile, you have big people on that side. It says we're going to transition into this. Meanwhile, on the other side, they say the same thing. There's been big names that kind of give them confidence. Oh, it's going to be his, and we're switching over, and it will be a perfect this and that. I have NordVPN. It's great, says Doc Bill. Karen Lynn, DuckDuckGo is great. Perfect. That's awesome. No V for me, says KDS. Adam Molecule, what's going on? Angela Olsen, our governor is a what? Romney is bad, involved with 119 Hillary. Joey Biden says, my ears are ringing with the sound of power. Patrick Lee, yes, I can't say that one. Lyra Belacqua. Wendy Sagamang, very creepy. Trinity, telling everybody to love each other. That's awesome. And make sure to welcome all the new folks. I know that there's a bunch. Sealed by the blood, it's going to be a dark winter because the light of the world is about to be taken out. Trust in Jesus today. I believe you're right. I believe that everything's going to be flipped up on its head, and you just got to go with it. I hope that at some point we will have... I hope we will have peace very soon. Hopefully not too much peace, though. Well, the Masters is rain delayed. Enjoy a humongous alligator walking across a Florida golf course. Everybody was talking about this today for good reason. This is one of the biggest alligators any of us have seen. Like you said, Dex, your wife is from Florida and has seen tons of gators. Nothing like this. This gator, which people are saying that this thing is almost prehistoric, was walking across a flippin' golf course. Now check this out.
That's about that's got to be the biggest gator ever.
Some are saying it's like 50 something. I mean, I've even watched a lot. I've done those stupid rabbit holes where you look up the biggest of every animal, or you'll Google largest alligator in the world and the top 10 largest alligators and top 10 snakes in the world. Just stupid things you do when you're bored, especially during lockdown. I did a few of these. This thing is gigantic. So this is the picture of it. The legs alone, this thing looks like it's like 5 or 6 feet tall. It's absolutely insane. I've never seen legs that tall. This is what we're talking about. And I wanted to show you full screen, but let me see here. I don't know why this happens. Hold on. Why can't I go into full screen? Let's see here. First off, the size of their legs, the fact that proportionately this thing is just giant. And there's other pictures here, and I've got other pictures, and I'll try to get this to work again. I don't know why. There we go. All of a sudden it works. Okay, this thing is gigantic. This is like, is this by a nuclear plant? Like, what the hell? Okay, so there's other pictures of it too. It's just ginormous. It's as big as a car. If you realize what that kind of ball cleaner thing is, how big those things are, in comparison, it's just absolutely insane. Look at that. Look at his tail. Could you imagine just seeing that stroll 100 feet away from you? Those legs are as big as, somebody's like lower half. And just muscle. They can run fast too. They can run fast for a short period of time. I would not even be that close. I hope this guy was using a telephoto on top of a telephoto. Look at his mouth. I mean, that's incredible. One of the strongest jaws in the nature world. That is scary as hell. Now, Dex, do we know if they did anything? Did they go try to track it, or did it just hop back in the water and bounce out?
I think it just carried on. Usually that's what they do at a golf course. You stay far away and let it do its thing. But there might have been a video too. I don't know if it's there or not.
So again, this is during the hurricane, and they say it's part of. It says huge Florida gator. Yep, this monster is real. Caught on camera during Hurricane Eta in Naples. There was a movie that was just made like last year or the year before. It's a horror movie. But its premise is that this this daughter and father are in this house, and I want to say it's set in Florida. You guys can correct me if you're wrong, if I'm wrong. Maybe put the name of that movie in there. But it's a newer, high budget film, and it shows them during this hurricane, and this gigantic alligator is the evil person, or the evil monster in the in the movie. And in the movie they see all these scenes of the house is flooded, and they're basically stuck in the second floor or whatever, and this monster is kind of picking people off. This is like real life. This is, what is it called? Crawl. Man, that is just insane.
And I think we just found the main star, right?
Yeah, no, I mean, this is, you think of that movie as totally exaggerated, but technically it could happen. It's 2020. Just absolutely nuts. Bean Counter, what's going on? Godzilla, yeah. What is it? What do they say before they say Godzilla? They say like a sentence, like how they say it. Like, oy, 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 oy. Yeah, pretty nuts. Okay, this, I have to cover up the top here. What Fight Club lives do the rich and famous live? Is this an initiation ritual? This was a tweet that was going around, and I thought this was just really weird. So they all have the same kind of black eye. This is Richard Branson. I can't recognize this gentleman. Do you know who the one with the Getty Images tag on is? Is that...
yeah, it's Prince. Isn't that Prince... I can't remember his name. It's one of the princes.
Okay, so this is... It maybe not Prince Arnold or something. And then there's John Kerry, McCain, Bush, and then, of course, the Pope. And one thing that I heard was implant. So say at a certain point of elite, you get the implant or something. Or another thing I heard, which was pretty crazy, was that they take their brain and it's a special procedure where a thing goes in your face and takes your brain matter. So when you die, you can be uploaded into a computer and cloned. That was the weirdest one I heard. That's definitely one of the more obscure one. But why? What do you think? Why do you think they're just all hitting themselves on accident in the face? Do you think they got punched? Do you think they all stepped on a rake? Like all
and
on
more than that. It's more than that, Adam. Because when I posted this and shared it, somebody came back with another montage of photos. It was about 24 other celebrities and famous people, all with the same thing.
Why only
I don't understand
on the
it.
left eye? Maybe it's a tribute to Lisa Left Eye. I don't know. I don't get it. But it is definitely very weird. Craigslist is here. Are you the real Craigslist? No, I'm just kidding. People3 says fake. Well, I mean, these are real pictures, but I guess, why though? Why would they? I guess you could collect a bunch of stuff, right? CJ Blaze is back in the house. Jules, what is going on? And then Bones, thank you for being here. Tim Butler, Carol Fugabon. Is that Fugabon? That's awesome. All right. And then we have an athlete with Down syndrome makes history as first to finish in Ironman race and gifts the medal to his mom. Clocking in at 16 hours, 46 minutes, 9 seconds, just like 14 minutes shy of the 17-hour cutoff time, triathlete Chris Nykic didn't finish with the fastest time when he recently completed his first Ironman race, but he did set a new world record. This past Saturday, after swimming 2.4 miles, the 21-year-old Floridian, this is the new Florida man right here, cycled 112 miles and then ran the 26.2-mile marathon to become the first competitor with Down syndrome to successfully cross the finish line in the 42-year history of the Ironman race. So he completely shattered this. It says, "You have shattered barriers while proving without a doubt that anything is possible," tweeted the official Ironman triathlon. I mean, this gives, this is something to be proud of as their state, as this boy's mother. Again, it says, for his awe-inspiring efforts, Nykic earned himself a place in the Guinness Book of World Records as the first person with Down syndrome to become an official Ironman. Being the first person with Down syndrome is a great feeling, Nykic told Today prior to the event. "I can prove to kids that if I can do it, they can do it too." Nykic's father, Nick, says hopes that the parents of other children with Down syndrome who see what his son has achieved, will be inspired. "We want them to realize earlier that their child is a blessing and they can live an amazing life." I think all parents have gone through, some of the parents here most likely have someone or a child with Down syndrome. I have met some incredible men and women with Down syndrome, and especially when I was growing up. I went to the Boys and Girls Club when I grew up. After school, we would go play basketball. We would hang out at the Boys and Girls Club. And we had at least 6 or 7 throughout the 6-7 years that I went there, and they were just the best, most honest, most beautiful people inside and out. So this is pretty amazing. I'm surprised that is actually the first one, considering how many with Down syndrome are actually so athletic. So surprising that this is the first time. But again, he ended up gifting his medal to his mother, and she was absolutely stunned. So I thought that this was an absolute awesome story. Dex, great pick on that story, by the way.
Yeah, I thought you'd like that.
And then Laura Reed says, "I watched that movie Crawl. That's such a creepy one." Mr. Noodles Master Gator, he is huge. Yeah. Super, super creeps. All right, let me see here. I can pull this over. 150 new followers over on DLive. Maxima 73,800. Thank you. Gone Girls 777. Thank you for all the massive support. I'm late to the party. I sent a DM to Twitter and both Dex and you regarding a National Guard alert. Helios. Okay, so I think I know what you're talking about, and we will make sure to cover that on the second half. Uper Viking, and no one else could hear it. He says, when I lived in the city, I heard music all the time, and no one else could hear it, says Uper Viking. I don't know. Maybe that was them testing it. Been watching replays. Good job, y'all. Believers 10, 19, 16. Thank you for doing that. Kelly2334. Thank you. Marky Sparky. Lisa 772. A4 Man. Foxlord. JT Pencil is beautiful. Full disclosure, I was born on Friday the 13th, says Johnson. That's awesome. Greatest is love. We have Audrey's Visual Arts, Shy the Coffee, Jody Cattle Dogs, and World News up in the house. Lots of awesome people, and thank you so much for the Ninjagini Zippy Moons, and I'm happy that you're here, even though you are late. We might have to restart the show. All right, we're going to get our calls open. We were going to have a special caller before we switched over, but that ended up working out. So, again, you can call at 2244-00-MARF. Let's see. Let's get into this. We're going to be switching over so we can talk a little bit more freely. I hope that you guys all follow us over to DLive. Again, it is free. You do not have to pay for it. It is somewhere that actually has good streaming, and it has an awesome community. So if you guys want to pop on over there after the show, you can. We're going to do a little intermission to give people time to get over there. If you're on DLive, you don't have to go anywhere. You can go get some popcorn, go get some drinks, and then we're going to have calls. So I appreciate everybody being patient over on DLive. Thank you over on YouTube for everybody that ended up supporting today. Again, when you donate on YouTube, you end up getting on the next line right here. So this poll right here ends up, we correct this every single day, and then we put that on the next show. Thank you guys for supporting independent journalism. Thank you for everybody on this black line here. And then, again, the blue line, actually. And then the number, 2244-006273 or 2244-00-MARF. You can call it right now if you'd like. Again, it looks like we already have 2 lined up. Nope, 3. So make sure to get in there right now. All right. Thank you, guys. Love you. I hope that you are all safe. One thing to remember, too. It is absolutely imperative that you prepare. So be safe, be prepared, and I'll see you guys in a minute. This is the Plants vs. Zombie song. This is what I call it. Thank you for your patience over on D Live. Appreciate that. We can be a little bit